Okay, folks, it's a Monday. I'm normally at work on Monday, but I do think I don't have time on Thursday and Friday to do my demos as I normally would. I've got appointments to attend and all that sort of shit, stuff that I don't actually enjoy, but I have to do it. This photocopier is running rough. I don't like the sound it makes. Yeah, folks, I just blew and picked my nose in the bathroom, of course. I had a nosebleed. Why would I want to say that? Speaking of which, I've got a demo piece that I'm going to do themed on noses, runny noses and all that sort of shit. I don't know. I won't tell you what it is anyway. And let's see if we can make this come up a treat, whatever it is. This reminds me of early childhood or beginning of childhood or 5 years old. Let's see what these are. These are stars. And of course, teachers like to hand them out to students. In this case, I think it was kindergarten, for good work, merit stars. Of course, they can be used for anything else. They're not just for kids or children who've just done a good assignment, or not assignment as such, but some schoolwork. I don't know how that's going to look. Oh, that didn't sound too healthy. Yeah, sounds really rough. Yeah, that looks interesting, but it's not what I want. I did want to try and get the stars to reflect, but that looks interesting. It could be used, but I don't like that minimalist look. Going to put it on there, or maybe we're just going to leave it there. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try and move it again. Try and put it in the corner and slide it around, or should I say just maneuver it around. Hopefully that'll look good. I used to love these stars. I remember I used to be envious of kids who got them. They can be a real envy thing for those kids who are not really good students. They can be something that makes them jealous or envious, or should I say. I did get it. I did, despite the fact that I had problems with learning, like I had brain damage at birth with a cord around my neck. My mum told me a while back, and basically I had troubles, doing school or having an attitude to school that was positive, and I used to hate school because learning was so difficult. And I saw other kids getting stars and I really envied them, but I do remember getting a green one eventually. I don't know how I did it because I wasn't a really good student. That looks really quite interesting, but it's not what we want. I do like that one with all the colours. But basically I envied them because I liked things that sparkle, that shine, shiny things, in other words. And I just really felt, I guess having a disability is really difficult I was at a disabled school. I think this school was a disabled school. The name of it was Cairns Central. I lived in Cairns all those years ago, and I remember that school, and it was called Cairns Central, and I think it was a kindergarten for kids who had disabilities. I do like that reflective bit. I do find this one really a difficult one to work with. This looks nice, but it looks a bit boring. But we could probably use it. Maybe make it into something more interesting. But basically, I really hated school. I'm going to try again. Just want to try and make this look really nice. It's not an easy one, folks. I'm going to pull it up this way. Got to get some of that reflection. But I really miss a loved one, and I'm trying to get in touch with him through the social media that I'm using for these videos. And it's really difficult trying to get my stuff to go up, to be utilised. I do think maybe that looks really quite interesting, but it looks a bit minimalist. I don't like minimalism too much in my work, if I can avoid it. I'm just using my camera hand to press the start button, so it's a little bit awkward. But yeah, kids love these merit stars. They really do. Now the silver ones look interesting. Still not what I'm after. I just can't seem to get a meritable piece of work happening out of this. It's really difficult. But I'm really missing this partner, and I really wish I could get in touch to get together and marry. And I'm an artist, as you can see. I'm trying to be creative here, and I'm trying to get this all over social media so I can find where Luigi is. But with this COVID-19 pandemic, we're having a lot of trouble, and basically I want to marry him, but we can't get married until the lockdown in Sydney has at least been partially lifted. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck in this lockdown limbo. We've got to start getting vaccinated as a movement. We've got to start moving our asses and getting vaccinated. So any of you folks who not yet vaccinated, just get vaccinated. It's the only way out of this lockdown. We don't want businesses failing. We don't want the economy failing. We don't want any more deaths from COVID. We don't want sick people who have to put up with sickness and disability because they got sick and didn't get well, totally well, which a lot of them do. So consider the consequences. You might have heard that AstraZeneca, the most easily available vaccine in Australia, has caused some clotting, blood clots and death. But you're so much more likely to die of COVID, and COVID's easy to catch. So don't dice with this disease, just get fucking vaccinated, because we need to get out of this lockdown, folks. We need to get out of here, get ourselves back on track as a nation, or at least as a state, as New South Wales. But of course we want the whole nation to get vaxxed. We can't live in this limbo, folks. It's going to stay like that. We can't sit paralysed with fear, because if you play it safe, you're going to play it fucking dangerously when you try to be doing that. And that's the problem. Sometimes when you play it safe, you end up putting yourself and others in more danger. That looks really quite nice. I do think, I don't know if we're going to move it across, but that looks really, I think we can use that. But I'm really missing this person, and I can't get married until we get clearance. We can't marry because weddings are forbidden currently. They're forbidden. Since when did it become illegal to have a wedding? It's like fucking me dead. But I know it has to happen that way. We haven't got a choice. We've got to move our asses and try to get vaccinated so we can get back the freedoms that we once knew and once probably took for granted until recently. So we have to kill this disease, or at least try to suppress it. Not suppression of lockdowns and shit like that. We still need that, but we have to couple it with getting vaccinated as a nation. We have to get vaccinated. It's becoming not just a New South Wales issue. This disease is spreading, and it's really horrible. And New South Wales is fucked. It just takes a few idiots to spread the disease, and then we're in trouble. I just wish we didn't have to go into this fucking lockdown. I really hate the word lockdown, folks. I do. I hate it. It's a fucking COVID word. I wonder if we're going to do a better one than this. So I just hate the word lockdown because it's COVID. It's a COVID word. It's become synonymous with our fight against COVID or coronavirus. I do think we're going to do something different. I do think this is not good enough. I'm just going to try and decide which one I'm going to work with. I've got to try that one again. But basically, we can't live in this limbo much longer. We can't go limbo lower now and see what new rules we're going to get. We need the rules, but fuck, we could have avoided them if more people got vaccinated. And I've lost my fucking settings. I've got to set up again. Fuck me dead. Now this is going to be a real long demo. It's the first demo of the day, and already I'm fucking having troubles making it look good. So, but basically I'm really over this lockdown. We're going at 200 for some reason, but I'm really sick of this lockdown, this COVID stuff that we're dealing with. I really wish more people could have started moving their asses earlier, but we can't look at the past. We've got to fucking look to the future and see what we can do better with the future, folks. We can't linger in the past. We can't linger on in the past and deal with the... Actually, yeah, we're going to go back and remaster that. So I'm just wondering, I just put it here. Oh, I've already destroyed one of the stars with my hand. I'm going to use that area. So I just ruined one of the stars. Just pushed it, dog-eared it. So I'm going to move this one around, and I'm going to try and get the golden stars to be kind of like featured. But basically I'm really longing to get my partner and I back together. And I just need the people of the world, people of Australia, to move it. But this being social media, there probably won't be enough people watching this. Social media is indeed reliant on people power, and people power historically in many ways doesn't work. Although it seems to be working with the vaccination drive. We are getting heaps of movement now that people are freaking out about COVID. So there is a groundswell of people seeking vaccination, which I'm really happy for. So I'm happy that's happening, that's occurring. This is a real difficult piece to do. My hand's getting shaky. And I really found that annoying, losing all my settings. But I'm really finding this a difficult piece to work with. Maybe we could stretch that across. Maybe we can make this into a stretchy piece and maybe just enlarge that section. I don't know, folks. It's going to be like maybe a minimalist piece, but minimalism does, to be honest, folks, does have a place. It does have a It's a part of the art society, and a lot of artists work in this particular style of art. I don't know how it's going to look, but I can't just keep trying to keep fucking around and trying to improve, and it's hard to know when to keep going and when to stop when it comes to this kind of art. But I'm really missing my partner, and this COVID is just driven a wedge between us. Even if we do get together, and we probably can't even get together if I'm correct, especially if he lives outside the 10-kilometre radius from me. And that looks really quite interesting. I don't know if I like it. I do like the way that it's just come shy of the edge. But I really need to get in touch with this person, this Luigi. I really need to find where he is, because we are lonely and we can't get married. I think I did mention that, sorry. That Luigi and I, we haven't got the opportunity to get married. We had it years ago, but this is not years ago, this is 2021. We call it the year of the shit hitting the fan really hard and splattering shit all over the place, and no one is able to escape the shit hitting the fucking fan. If you're in the vicinity of the fucking fan and the shit flies, which it has, it's more than fucking hit the fan. It's bloody become more like a fucking shit storm. You know, shit doesn't just fly or drop. It basically, in this case, it forms puddles and flooding, and you step in it. So there's no way you're going to miss that. And that's what's happened to New South Wales in particular, is that we're just having a fucking shitstorm. I really miss my partner. I just can't stop saying that, folks. I'm trying my best to present these demos under the circumstance. I can't even get to an op shop anymore to pick up things. I have to buy things new and that. And I've got an appointment coming up, showing up on my phone, but it's not a phone call. Gave me a bit of a fright, but that looks interesting. That looks like it's gone like a hole. It looks like a hole. I think we can call this demo. Quits.